Welcome to the Mum CEO podcast. I'm your host, Esther Roach. Join me as we explore the dynamic intersection of motherhood and entrepreneurship. From the challenges to the triumphs, we're here to unravel it all. Get ready for insightful conversations, practical wisdom, and a whole lot of inspiration. Let's embark on this empowering journey together. Hello and welcome to the Mum CEO podcast. I'm your host, Esther Roach, and today I'm joined by Jyotsna Hofmann. Hello, Jyotsna, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Esther. I'm really pleased to be here. Thank you.
No, you're very welcome. So for the benefit of the audience, please could you introduce yourself and what you do?
Great. So I am a business success mindset expert and coach. I'm also the founder of the 5-Step Elevate Mindset Framework. I help business owners and entrepreneurs achieve their revenue goals, increase sales and profits by mastering their greatest asset, which is their mindset. I help you overcome limiting beliefs, fears. Entrepreneurship can be very lonely and get through a lot of challenges, and I help you navigate them and work on your mindset so you can achieve the goals that you want to achieve. And I'm also a mum of a 6-year-old boy, and I love everything health and fitness, especially female health. I love listening to podcasts, and yeah, I love to travel and do all the fine things in life.
Oh, absolutely. Traveling and stuff is one of the things I like as well. And like you mentioned, that you've got quite a lot of things going on, and also you're a mum. So we're going to go into each of those things separately, and then we can hopefully unravel everything. So firstly, with your own journey, how did you get to where you're at? Because it couldn't have been something that just happened overnight. You've obviously been on a journey yourself and then worked on your own limiting beliefs, your own mindset and everything. How's the journey been for you to get to where you are?
Yeah, so my origin, so I am originally from India, and roughly more than 15 years ago, I moved to the United Kingdom. I came from a very small town, feeling not good enough, and also coming from a lot of chaos. I got married and then I got divorced. And I literally came to the United Kingdom to start a new life and rebuild my career from scratch. I studied, I managed to find a job and find my husband, have my son, and everything was going well. Yet I felt empty. I felt something was missing in my life. And they say what you're looking for is looking for you. I came on this course of personal development during COVID, during lockdown. And I joined a fitness challenge group where mindset was a big part of it. And that kind of started off my personal development journey. And I had mindset coaching, and it really, really helped me with my fitness goals, helped me with my nutrition and diet and lots of things. But then when the coaching stopped, some of the, let's say unhelpful patterns returned. And I came across rapid transformational therapy. I came across hypnotherapy, and that completely transformed me. Since becoming a mum, I wanted to do something else with my career. I wanted to retrain. I wasn't sure what I was really good at. But actually, after experiencing hypnotherapy, rapid transformational therapy, and seeing the changes that I had in my life, including mindset coaching, I realized that that's what I really wanted to do. And that's how I decided to retrain and become a mindset coach. And one of the tools, which I didn't mention earlier, I use is I have a very unique blended approach of hypnotherapy and also combining cutting edge mindset techniques like NLP, CBT, psychology, all of that bundled up into one method, which I trained in, and I've combined it all with classic coaching to get my clients powerful results. So that's how I kind of became a mindset coach. It's been a very interesting journey. I've done a lot of work on myself, and I've had the pleasure and privilege to help others as well. And I'm definitely on that journey to finally live my purpose and not just have a job. I was in a salaried profession before, and stepping into the identity of a businesswoman and running a business and being the CEO of your life and your business, that's been quite some transformation and journey for me. And we're all work in progress. It continues.
Yeah, no, it seems like you've had quite, quite a journey, to be honest, because when you're looking at how you've obviously left and migrated and, this fresh start and just moving on from obviously the previous things that had happened in your life, it takes a lot of determination, and you've obviously had to reprogram your train of thoughts. What would you say is the most important thing with regards to allowing yourself to be able to reprogram and think? It's a
Rethink,
think
yeah.
mindset, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question, because I did a lot of inner reflection on that as well. And, hindsight is a great thing. You look back and think, how did I do that? And I realized that somewhere I had a belief that I have a choice. Um, Life is about decisions, life is about choices, and I have a choice. When I was surrounded by chaos, I had a choice to move away from it, and I took that opportunity when it came. Coming to the UK was a choice. It was a conscious choice I had. So despite it, I think some things you're just born with, that you're born with, that's you, that's like, I believe in the universe, and that's what the universe gives you, the qualities you have. But as I mentioned, I felt empty and I felt unfulfilled. I realized that the reason why I felt that is because I wasn't doing what I was meant to do in my life. And now I'm finally there where I'm doing what I'm meant to do, which is help people, and I'm good at it. So you always have a choice. When it comes to reprogramming, I've had to reframe a lot of my limiting beliefs. I'm not good enough. I need to do more. I must work hard. Now, there is a little caveat to that. I used to label myself as a perfectionist, but anybody who has come from a difficult environment and has had to thrive and survive on their own, having control over things can play a big part. And perfectionism gives you control because you do things are happening, they are of a certain standard. So for me, I used to call it also my superpower. So I also embraced that perfectionism and reframed the label of perfectionism to say, hey, it's not something that I should be ashamed of, or is something is wrong with me, but to embrace it as my superpower, but to reframe it like a superhero or a Wonder Woman, how she would dial up her superpower and dial it down based on your circumstances and your needs. So when it comes to working hard, delivering sessions to my client to perfection, not perfection, but to high standards, committing myself to business, committing myself to showing up as a mum as well as a CEO of my business. I used my superpower. But, if I'm agonizing over a masterclass that I'm preparing for, agonizing over a meal that I have prepared for my family, I learned to dial it down. And that's a big one. So that was a big reframe I had. So you have a choice. And wherever your superpower is, because we all have them and we have strengths and we have weaknesses, just reframing that, understanding and accepting that that's who you are instead of fighting it. So that really, really helped. That was in my early years. And when I experienced rapid transformational therapy, that involves addressing your issue, getting to the root cause, which usually comes from your childhood, because up until the age of 5, you form beliefs about a lot of things about love, money, etc., from your parents, and you continue to build that when you go to school. So getting to that root cause and reframing it. So you also listen to a recording, a transformation recording that helps install and embed new beliefs. So once I started having a self-awareness of my patterns, and we all have patterns, one of my unhelpful patterns was self-sabotage. When things were going well for me, although there was a part of me which wanted to do extremely well, and I did, but there was another part that was trying to sabotage that as well when it came to food and relationships. So I really had to reframe those as well. That wasn't happening just by saying, hey, a positive affirmation, I'm not going to eat sugar today, or I'm not going to have the argument and I'm going to control myself. It wasn't working that way. I had to go through the hypnotherapy process to actually embed those beliefs within me. So I've been through that process, and that's how I helped myself by getting to that root cause and having that true inner transformation.
Mm.
And definitely confidence as well, because I think we all can say, we all suffer with lack of confidence from time to time. And outwardly, if you met me before, you wouldn't think that I didn't have confidence. I had loads of confidence, but what I was missing was a strong self-esteem.
Mm.
And that came from this place of I'm not enough. So this is where rapid transformational therapy really helped me to actually reframe and reprogram my mind. And that's how I've literally changed everything. This also helped me to step into this identity before that, oh my God, I'm launching a business. What do I know? Who am I? And I had to reframe and say, who am I not? And if I don't give myself permission to shine,
Mm.
I'm not giving others the permission to shine and reach out.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, that's kind of, all the things. It's a long journey. Like I said, you have a choice. Understand your superpower, accept it, and learn to dial it up or down as you need it. And if you can get help through a coach or a mentor, really work on those limiting beliefs, because sometimes saying positive affirmations isn't enough. You really need to dig deep and go into the deep-rooted subconscious beliefs.
Wow. Yeah, and there's a lot of nuggets on there that you've actually shared. And I think that the most important thing is obviously, taking those little bits and actually understanding yourself, which I think a lot of people struggle with that one, because you don't quite realize. You just think, okay, I'm born, I'm this, and you kind of just plod along without realizing the amount of stuff you've got to understand about yourself before you can try and understand somebody else. And you mentioned something there about having this fear of judgment and everything, because obviously with life we have certain experiences, so sometimes we go through things that may of course make us feel that the society is judging us or saying you're not enough because this hasn't quite worked out, even like you're saying with the marriage and everything, because with certain cultures you get a label. When that happens, you become labeled, and you can easily fall into the trap of being under that. How do you feel, with regards to obviously having your son? Have you had any fear of judgment around your own identity, around the things you do, and what you do as a mother, for instance? Do you worry about anything, or you're in a better place from obviously when you've had the other stuff happen previously?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Especially, I think you may agree that as a woman, especially as a woman, men also have degrees of fear of judgment, but especially women, it all links to imposter syndrome as well. Like, am I doing enough? Am I good enough for my child? Am I good enough parent? And I've definitely had those thoughts and suffered from that. But also I understand how to dialogue with myself and understand that these are normal thoughts
Mm.
sometimes. Just again, going back to what I said earlier, accepting them. Definitely, if going back, to the divorce, there was a huge shame attached. I'm Indian, and I was living in India back then, and it was really there was a lot of shame that I had brought on my family because of what I did. But I was just headstrong. I just knew that was the right thing for me, and had to really take that big leap against what society had sort of groomed and trained you to believe in. And in the context of being a mum, yeah, like the gender stereotypes, it's a constant struggle. Society has expectations of what a mother should be or could be doing. There's definitely those gender stereotypes as well, the balance, the gender balance of, with your partner, how you share your responsibilities. And I felt overwhelmed a lot, especially in those early years when my son was quite young and I was trying to find myself in motherhood, and also on the side, transitioning into a new career and reassessing what I needed to do. There was this guilt of, what sometimes still is, but you dialogue with yourself. Your mind's doing a job. Your thoughts are there. You have beliefs, but the recognition that these are my beliefs and I have a choice to change them. It was so I had beliefs like, oh, I am prioritizing work, so maybe I'm not paying enough attention to my son, or prioritizing my son, and then my business is suffering because I'm not, prioritizing my work. So having that struggle, internal struggle, also sometimes worrying about how others view me. Will she be able to juggle so much? I've been going through a transition, so I also continue to work in my 9 to 5 for some time, freelancing, and I had a lot to juggle. So I was doing my freelance job, being a parent, and also launching my business, showing up for the content marketing, social media, and all that. So I've been doing that. But you learn to dialogue with them. I definitely introduced productivity hacks as well. I set time, I manage my time better, because I believe that when you work, be 100% present for that. And when you're a parent, when you're a mum, be 100% present for that. And the only way to do this is time management skills, managing your time, other than managing your mindset, of course. I used to have a lot of fear of judgment before, but I have worked through a lot of that now. And I understand, and we should all understand, we could all understand that we're all on our own journey. You have 5 children, you have your own way of balancing. And it's instead of viewing it as, again, reframing it, it's not something negative, it's positive. You are amazed at your own abilities when you go and achieve these things. So definitely have had to overcome all these fears, and just show up as mum when I need to be, and CEO of my business when I need to be. Very recently, my son had his first ever BMX race over the weekend, and I was also attending a training workshop, which was over 2 days. And I had to make that difficult choice of not going for one of the training days, so that I could go for my son's race. And there was this internal tug of war. There was a part of me that really, really wanted to be at the training event, learning, mingling with people, networking, because I knew that it was a great opportunity for me. But then I also knew that this is my son's first ever race and this is important and I want to be there for him. So again, I just made the choice and I didn't dwell on it. You just move on.
No, that's brilliant there, because I know what you're saying. I've got 5 to contend with, so it's quite difficult when you try to balance everything, and they all have different things, different ages, and going through different things. But I think, like you said, for me personally, what works for me is being organized. I've got to be organized. I've got to diarize things, so I know what I'm doing when, and it's less stressful for me because I plan what I'm doing, and it kind of works. And it's about getting that balance right, isn't it? When you sort of know what you're doing when, and stuff,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
fantastic. What advice would you give to other mums that are in that process of worrying and having the mum guilt, and just not, and the whole fear of judgment, to think they're not good enough as mums?
Yeah. So I think the first thing I would say, being a mindset coach, is it starts within you. It starts here in your mind. So I highly recommend, take some time out from your busy lifestyle for yourself to do some inner reflection, whether it's journaling, but just writing your thoughts down, just for a day. Just go about, have a journal next to you, and just see what thoughts run in your head. And that will give you some awareness of thoughts. So just write top 20 thoughts, or you'll realize that you have looping thoughts. You have a thought that you think again and again and again, and often that is driving your behavior. Self-awareness, we hear about it many times. Oh, just have self-awareness. It's very difficult to create self-awareness. It's not as easy as so you really need to put yourself in that zone. Okay, today I'm going to practice self-awareness. And how will I do that? I'm going to keep a journal and notice my internal dialogue, how I'm talking to myself, and write everything down. That will give you some awareness. And then you look at, create a column, 2 columns. On the left, you have all your limiting beliefs or your thoughts, and then you reframe them on the right-hand side and write more empowering beliefs. So, for example, if you feel, I feel guilty for prioritizing my work or working when I should be doing that, just tell yourself this. Imagine from your child's perspective, and no matter what their age, because children absorb from their mothers all the time, and we know that, right? How do you look, how do you appear to your child when you're working hard and showing up for something that you really believe in? You're actually giving them great life skills, but you definitely have to make sure that you're also attending to their needs, because children have their needs. But my son, for example, knows that mummy does hypnosis. He often asks me, Mummy, are you doing hypnosis? Are you doing mindset coaching? You love mindset coaching, don't you? So it's good for children to see that part of you. It's not, that you're prioritizing work and neglecting them. They get to see the individual who you are, and that will inspire them. So that's one. So self-awareness, writing, journaling, and reframing it like that. So do that reframe, and be kind on yourself. Just give yourself permission to be yourself. This is your journey. You are, so the only opinion that really matters is your own. You have to look around you and see what you're doing. Is it working? Is it getting you closer to your goals, whether it's your parental goals, or whether it's your mum goals or business goals? And just being mindful of that. And definitely time management skills, productivity hacks, having time blocks, getting yourself organized. That is the way to reduce overwhelm and stress and remove that guilt. But also, if you do feel the guilt, accept it. Accept that this is my thought, but I can change my thoughts. I have a choice. I have the power to change my thoughts. What would be a more helpful thought? How does it help me to think, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm feeling so guilty about doing this? Change that thought. So use your journaling, use your positive reframes, and start to say them out loud. So you can do so many things, but I think you can start with that. That would be quite helpful, and definitely helps me, because we're not perfect. So one of the things that I want to just add briefly here is our mind, from a mindset coaching perspective, our mind has only one job: our survival. Our mind reacts to two things: pain and pleasure. It moves you away from pain because it's crucial for our survival, and it moves you towards pleasure because whatever we like, we want more of it. The other rule to understand is your mind works harder to move away from pain than it does to move towards pleasure. So these are the two principles that, if you start to apply them, you will start to understand your behavior. So guilt is a feeling that is pain. And when you feel that pain, your mind wants to run away from it. It wants to move away from pain. So if you reframe it and say, hey, when I show up for my business and my son or daughter or my children see me doing this, they see a side of me. They say that mum is committed. Mum has her own thing going on. And think about what they will think as they grow up about what it means to be a mum and a CEO of their business. It's not just something that dads do. They grow up into this hopefully egalitarian society where women are perceived equals. So, you're giving that message to your child. So you reframe that. Does that help?
Wow, that's some really, really powerful insights and sort of tips that you've shared on there, because I think a lot of it can be with the mind. We can get stuck in our own ways and stuck in what society deems this is the right way, or you should do this instead. And it's very easy really to get sidetracked and lose focus of where you're headed to and what you want to achieve. And like you said, it's giving that example to your children. Like, I'd like to think that my children are inspired and motivated to their own careers, because they are seeing what I'm doing on a regular basis, rather than thinking, okay, because at school they don't teach that. So it's
No.
kind of like they're learning from what they see from myself. It inspires them to want to do better and start their own careers and move on and do well in those fields. So that's really, really useful information. So thank you so much for that. I think the audience.
And your children are forming beliefs about those gender stereotypes right there. Your children are learning beliefs, and they will grow up with this belief that men and women are equal. Men do businesses and women also do businesses. And they will grow up with a belief that my mum managed it all, she had it all, I can have it all too. And also, having that belief, because if they see mum always cooking at home and really stressed and struggling because she's trying to juggle so much, what beliefs are they going to form? They're going to form a belief, oh, running a business and having children is stressful and painful. And guess what? They will try to run away from that pain. But it's not about running away from the pain. It's understanding my mind has a job. It associates pain with something, and that's why it wants to move me away from it. But I can dialogue with my mind to say, hey, this is not pain. I love it. I love it. I love having a job. I love having my business, and I love having children, and I love being this superwoman, or having this superpower, having all these abilities to manage my time, to be organized, to cook those meals. And maybe sometimes it's a takeaway. So what? Always have that 80-20 rule. Majority of the time, be consistent and allow yourself to fail, because we all fail. We only learn by failing. We learn from our mistakes. So if you want to influence your child's limiting beliefs or their beliefs, where does it start? It starts from parents, from home.
No, absolutely. No, that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing those tips and just helping, myself even, and as well as the audience that's going to be listening to this, to sort of reframe and really do that work on their mindset, and obviously how they're perceiving things and seeing things. So, one final question is, what have you got coming up within your coaching? Have you got anything exciting, any developments, or anything that's coming up for the audience to know?
Yeah, so I rebranded early this year, and I'm launching a masterclass which is on LinkedIn, and you can sign up for that. So if you are struggling with fears, or just need to understand what mindset changes, or what mindset shifts you could make to get to that next level. Maybe you're already doing really, really well, but you're hungry for more and you want more. Or maybe you just simply want to scale up, or you just want to make more money, but something's holding you back. You might find this useful. So you can join me in this masterclass. I have created a wait list, so you can sign up to that, and I will let you know when that's live. And I've also launched a new coaching program. I've been working with clients on their personal issues, so for example, procrastination or imposter syndrome or confidence or public speaking, because a lot of women out there, they want to go to conferences and seminars and showcase their products or their services, but they hesitate because public speaking hasn't been one of their strong points. So I help with that as well. But what I realized is what I really enjoy doing is helping people on the complete journey. So I've launched a 6-month coaching program as well. That is kind of in the pipeline. I've launched it, but again, filling spaces. So I still have a couple of spaces for the coaching program. And then I have my usual offers, which is I offer a 12-week transformation program. So if you have a specific issue that you're aware of that you want to work on, then we can help you get to your goals really quickly in as little as 3 months.
No, that's brilliant. Thank you very much for that. And what I'm going to do is, when the episode goes out, I will have the link. So if anybody wants to reach out to you and book onto any of your masterclasses or courses, they'll be able to get to you. So it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show today. And thank you for sharing so many tips.
Thank you so much. And thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome.